So another thing, you have to network with real estate investors and service providers because networking is everything. So by networking with people, you will meet potential future partners. For sure, your capability would be limited after you own 3 to 4 properties. The bank won't lend you, and your own down payments will be maxed out. So you will reach out the ceiling point, right? And then able to connect with real estate mentors who may even give you guidance. And when you run into problems, probably you could reach out them. But if you are alone, your friends and family or your own network, they may not be able to help you out. Unfortunately, like whenever I ran into problems, I couldn't rely on my friends or family because they didn't go through the issues I was going through because I started a bit earlier. Landlording tips, and connect with creative mortgage experts, contractors, and out-of-box thinking realtors, because you have to deal with realtors who have knowledge in real estate investment properties. And also finding right contractors for your investment properties, those are also critical. An opportunity to participate in bigger real estate investments, because if you are always by yourself, your knowledge is limited. You have to open it up and go beyond your networks. Then only you can grow, right? Because you have to always unlearn where it took you to go beyond your point where you're at right now, so that you have to you could reach your goals. And learn from others' mistake and limit your damages. This is main thing, because you could save hundreds of thousands of dollars by doing this. Because for sure, whenever any loss or anything comes in real estate or anything, the way how I look at it, there's a tuition fee I learned. Because by mistakes and losses, if you learn, you could count that as a tuition fee for that. But if you don't learn, then that is a loss. But it is better to learn from others' mistakes and others' losses. And hear success stories and stay motivated. This is another important thing, because as real estate investors, you will run into a lot of problems. If you own 1 or 2 properties, and let's say if it is a condo, probably you wouldn't have run into problem. But if you're, there was a time when I was a full-time engineer, I had 35 tenants one time. So imagine the probability of you running into problem, right? As you increase your portfolio, you will run into problems, but it is better to have the network of people. They will motivate you. They will push you, because if they are doing 1,000 doors and if you own 35, 50 doors, you are still nothing compared to their success. So you will be still motivated, right? Find the financial freedom and you could enjoy your life. So now let's go back to the question we had. Why don't you guys put it in the chat? What do you think? When somebody buy a property, how do you think they should make the decision? Based on what? When I say emotion, the property is a great property, and because I'm talking about investment property, not the one you will be living. Let's see the chat. Capability. Myron says capability. Oh, Kimberly says capability, location. Location, numbers, location, capability, already said. Sustainability, tenancy, AAA. All right. I'm glad none of you said advice from the loved ones. That's the best thing, because you should never listen to your loved ones if you are investing in real estate. because they have never did any investment, but they will be the first one to advise you. I'm telling you, that's not the way to invest. So I'm glad nobody have chosen that, my husband or my wife. So from my mind, based on my experience, let me move the chat. I vote for numbers. So for an example, location, I was thinking location probably 2 years back. Now I would tell you numbers matters the most. It doesn't matter where the property is located. I'll give you examples. Okay. So emotion, I had problem and I made some decision based on the location and the emotion as well. And both of them now, when I look back, I'm regretting I shouldn't have made my decision based on my emotion or location, right? Sure, location I would vote as the second one. The numbers is the first choice you have to vote for. Because no matter what happens, if the economy goes down or crashes, no matter what happens, if your property positive cash flows, you can sleep peacefully. So always go for positive cash flow. Okay. Emotion. So I'll tell you a very good example. So I had tenants and I ran into a problem because one of my tenants was smoking marijuana, and she was fighting with the tenant, and she was living in the basement, and then she was fighting with the tenant upstairs. So I was even getting phone calls in the middle of the night while I was living in Ottawa. So I had this issue in my mind. So, oh man, this, and also another thing, I hate the marijuana smell as well. And I was looking for a property probably like 9 or 10 years ago in Oshawa area. And this nice complex, townhouse was priced at $100,000. A single unit townhouse was priced at $100,000. But when I went and looked at the property, the complex smelled so bad with the marijuana. And I said, that's it. I'm not even walking into it, right? And then I went out and purchased a single property. Like it was a single detached, 2-story property in Oshawa area. I'm talking like 8-9 years ago. That's 210,000, right? So that $100,000 property, we would have rented for 1,250. Okay, so it would have cash flow forever. At the same time, during that time, North York was a great location. When I say, I don't know if you have people from other part of Ontario as well, there could be some participants from Ottawa and other part. So when I say North York, it's close to downtown Toronto. So that is high, and that is one of the best locations in Canada. Okay, but the property's cost was around 600,000 at the time. I'm talking like 12 years back, like 11, 12 years back. But I love the location because it's walking distance to the subway and all the amenities are close by. So I'm now saying two things. One, emotion. Because of the emotional distraction, I didn't purchase a property for 100,000. And then because of the location, I purchased it in North York, right, with fellow real estate investors. Now, today, as of today, when I look back, right, the properties in North York, they are break even, but so you look at two things: appreciation and positive cash flow. The properties in Oshawa, when I say Oshawa, it is the east side of Greater Toronto area, and the properties in Oshawa, they have quadrupled 4 times. Now those $100,000 properties are close to $500,000. And peacefully, at the time, my banker told me, I was dealing with a small banking business specialist. He was saying, you buy these 200,000, 100,000 properties, I'll mortgage you the number you want it. But I told him, no, I'm not interested in that location. So I'm going to purchase 1 or 2 properties in North York and those kind of locations. So now I look back, I would have bought 10 properties or even 20 properties in Oshawa, and they would have made like millions of dollars. So always make sure, even the location, right? Sure, location is great, but if the number works out, if positive cash flows, don't bother with the location or anything. And down the road, any location would go up. So that would be my advice. And for the so I want to put up another presentation about how I got into my entrepreneurship and how BizRing got founded. And then I'll talk about that for 5 to 6 minutes. And then I'll open up for questions. So probably I may need to bring up the other slide. All right. So far, so good. So you could do thumbs up with emojis. Fly the emojis, right? In your chat box. All right. So probably I won't play this video because you won't be able to hear the audio. So why BizRing, right? So let me move the chat box a bit. I'm going to minimize the chat box. Sorry. Yeah, so over 12 years of real estate investment, I found the challenges faced by the real estate investors firsthand. Finding reputable service providers to manage their properties in multiple cities. For an example, if you own a property in Ottawa, Windsor, and Innisfil, your plumber in Ottawa, he's not going to serve your property in Innisfil. So you need to have team of service providers in each cities, and identifying them and managing, that's troublesome. And the second thing is, when you run into a problem, you are lonely. As a real estate investor, you are lonely because you couldn't rely on your family and friends to help you out because they wouldn't have gone through the problems you will be going through. And then raising capital. Because after you own 4 to 5 properties, bank won't lend you and your down payment is already maxed out. So in order to provide a solution, BizRing got founded. So what is BizRing? So we could over 100 categories of real estate service providers. They could market themselves and be part of our platform. So it eliminates real estate investors to going through multiple platforms to identify each different kind of service providers. For an example, in order to find realtors, they have to go to realtor.ca or their network. And then HomeStars for contractors. And then Kijiji, it is unorganized. So that's where BizRing is. It would be a one-stop solution for real estate investors to find all kind of real estate service providers to get their service. And also they could create their power teams using those service providers so that they could repeatedly use them in the future. And then as of right now, we got over 11,500 businesses listed within our platform, starting from Ottawa, Greater Toronto area, Kitchener, and Waterloo area. And who is it for? It is for real estate investors and service providers only. If someone is visiting BizRing, that means they have a purpose in real estate. Other than that, they won't come to BizRing. If you look at Yelp, there's all kind of nightlife, restaurants, and then they have the listing platform as service as well. But BizRing, it is dedicated for real estate, and anybody who visits BizRing, they have a purpose in real estate. And then these are the sample businesses they are marketing within our platform. So key features and benefits for the real estate investors. It is an absolutely free platform for real estate investors. you can create your power teams in the cities where you own your properties. You could ask your service provider, if they are not already part of our platform, you could ask them to be part of our platform, and then you could create power team. And single stop solution for real estate investors to find all kind of real estate services, starting from cleaner, plumber, electrician, roofer, real estate agents, mortgage providers, insurance providers, you name it. And then writing blocks. So this one enables real estate investors to share their experience, and then show their network of people that they have knowledge in real estate investment, and they have done successful project, so that their friends and family and their network, they want to invest and collaborate with them. And then through BizRing, all the reviews goes on to the service providers, go through our approval process. Because if you look at Google, anybody can give reviews, and they could be either same owner can write the reviews or competitors can write bad reviews. So, but BizRing, all the reviews goes through our admin approval process. And we are, as we speak, we are working on our forum. Our forum is going to be a platform for real estate investors to ask any kind of question related to real estate investment. Whenever they run into problem, they should be able to post it, and any fellow real estate investors or service providers, they could help them out. So it will be an interactive community for real estate investors. And we are turning our BizRing platform into a fintech platform where real estate investors, they can raise capital. So that our ultimate goal is making the real estate investor to thrive and becoming successful in their real estate journey, so that they could retire early and have a great life. For service providers also, we have superior benefits. They can be part of multiple virtual teams, and they could get free leads and branded business profile. They can have their videos, logo, audio, and image files, and you name it. And SEO friendly and reliable reviews, so it eliminates any competitors giving bad reviews. Geo-targeting, business owner, he can select all the cities where his business need to appear, and then he will appear as a local service provider rather than displaying his business under single city. And then they can recommend complementary businesses. A lot of real estate service providers are asked by their customers, could you recommend a plumber? Could you recommend a mortgage provider, insurance provider, or home inspector? What they could do is they can publicly recommend them, so that they are shown as trustworthy, and they have authority in the industry they are, rather than texting them personally or telling them over the phone. They can publicly do this, and there are no other platform doing this. And then writing blogs, service providers can write blogs as well. And for real estate investors, it is an absolutely free platform. There's no such a platform. It is serving the real estate investors as of right now. So BizRing would be the first and only platform. It serves real estate investors. And I want you guys to be aware of it. In Canada alone, there are close to 2 million real estate investors. Out of that, around 800,000 are in Ontario. So I'm glad that you are part of it. And for Pro BizRingers, and there's a Pro BizRinger Lite and Gold. For Lite, it's absolutely free, and Gold, it's 2 months free, and then after that, only $9.99. And you could share this promo code with your network of service providers, so they could become part of BizRing, and then you could add them to your power team, BizRing 2021. Our app, we are working on it, and we are almost there, and we'll be launching in the coming weeks. Apple is giving us some trouble, but we will overcome with that. Thank you for your time, and we will open up for questions now. And make sure to follow us and share on all the social media. And we need your support so that we can be successful, so that you become successful as well. All right, why don't we start taking some questions from the chat? So far, all good?
It's going good. Very nice.
Thank you, Selvan.
Yes, going very good. Really a good meeting, Ahilan. Even I learned a few things from your meeting. Thanks for hosting these kind of meetings. It's a knowledge. You are giving the knowledge to others. It's really appreciated.
I really appreciate your positive comments, Elvana. You are always supportive and you're always there.
Because I saw it from your first investment and everything from our office, and how you determined for your investments. Good luck, Hilan. Continue your meetings. I'll try to come every time.
Thank you. Thank you. So whoever have question anything about real estate investment or related to real estate, you could put that in the chat. Probably we could start taking, based on my experience, I would be able to answer those questions, see how much time we have.
Okay. Can I speak instead of typing? It might be much faster.
Sure.
Okay, so thanks again for hosting this virtual meeting. I think this is the first one I'm participating. It's great. Keep sending the invites over. My question is, in terms of positive cash flow, the price is really high now. Even with 20% down, it's hard to get to positive cash flow. I have a couple of properties and I'm kind of putting out of pocket every month just to balance carryover cost. So what cities or what do you recommend in terms of investing into real estate, the price wise and location wise? You mentioned about the numbers. Where do I get positive cash flow in this market right now?
So if you rely on Greater Toronto area, you want positive cash flow. Like, as I told you, like 8-9 years ago, Oshawa was cash flowing left and right. Buying a property in Oshawa was buying things from dollar store, right? It doesn't exist anymore. Okay, like so Greater Toronto area, it wants positive cash flow. So that's why you have to go out of town.
Okay.
Like, go ahead.
I agree, totally agree. There are two cities I'm kind of looking into: Timmins, Sudbury.
Sure.
I just want to get your feedback if you have any experience on that, or if there's any other cities that I haven't looked at already, and if you have knowledge, it'd be great to know.
Sure. I knew about Timmins and Sudbury. If you look at their economy, right, Timmins mainly relies on mining. Okay, and Sudbury manufacturing, lumber, and partially relying on mining as well, right?
Yep.
But and then I was looking at Peterborough. Okay. Peterborough is upcoming, and their economy is more diversified because they have aerospace and manufacturing, healthcare, you name it. They are upcoming, and they are not that far from GTA either. So instead of going north, the city is relying on single economy. I would suggest look into Peterborough. And even RAIN, Real Estate Investment Network, they have done their research and they found Peterborough. And there was a time they were saying Ottawa and Hamilton, they were one of the best cities to invest. But Ottawa is no longer cheap. Like when I was investing in Ottawa, it was cheaper. But now Ottawa also expensive. But Ottawa, their population, I don't think it can support the growth they have achieved in past 2-3 years. So when the prices goes down, those kind of cities, they may dip deeper. But the thing is, Ottawa has two type of economy: government, more secure, and high tech. Right. So it was down for so many years. So that's why they are picking up, especially even eastern side of GTA as well. It was down for so many years. Like a property I purchased in Oshawa for $210,000. And I looked at the history. The seller was an investor and he purchased that property 5 or 6 years prior to my purchase. He lost probably $10,000 from his purchase price. So imagine, so while the western side of GTA was booming and the price was appreciating, eastern part of GTA was suppressed. It is just coming back. It's catching up. That's all it is doing.
Okay. Okay.
So I would suggest you look into Peterborough.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for that. I have one quick question. I won't take too much of your time. You mentioned about instead of investing into houses as a into houses, BizRing has an opportunity to invest into a bigger portfolio. I can't remember what name you used, but is there some sort of an investment opportunity available through BizRing?
That is coming, but not yet, because we are going to have our fintech platform available. So through that, what we are planning to do is real estate investors, if they are looking for investment, and then we'll bring in the accredited investors, match with them through our AI technology, and then real estate investors can get funded.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So that is that is part of our vision.
Okay, good luck. Yeah. Thanks, Avilan. Thanks for your feedback.
So if you guys read it through, I'm determined to build 1,000 houses. As BizRing becomes successful, we will do it to the people in third world countries. We want to build 1,000 houses to the underprivileged families.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good luck. Thank you.
So there are two questions in the chat. If you want to
Sure.
scroll up and check.
Kimberly is sharing a flipping project, and feel free to introduce. Oh, Kimberly is from Sudbury, see? So what were the beyond 4 properties? How would you arrange the mortgage? Okay. So beyond 4 properties, how would you arrange the mortgage? So it is all depends on your the ratio, borrowing ratio, right? Like, let's say if you buy $1.5 million property, then you could only buy 1 property. But if you buy $200,000 property, and if they are cash flowing, you would be able to buy more than 4 properties. The thing is, there's a trick there. Each banks, they limit, they limit maximum 4 to 5 properties. So what you have to do is you have to work with all 5 major banks like RBC, CIBC, TD, and Scotia, and then BMO, right? So then you could have up to 20 properties. There's no problem. So don't just deal with one bank. Always have your eggs into multiple baskets. I hope I have answered Santo's question.
Yes, thank you, Akilan. Thanks for the explanation.
Yeah, don't just rely on one bank. So Umesh was asking, what do you think about real estate investors getting into property flip? Property flip, I don't, that's on, how do I say, like, I don't, like, I don't encourage too much, because when somebody says property flipping, they are thinking within 1 year, they buy it without renting it, you are flipping it. If you do that every year, that become your regular income. Then you have to pay tax, 100% tax, right? Like it will be added as your regular income, and then you'll be paying as regular employees pays tax. The way how I would do the flip little differently. So what I would do is I would buy it and rent it out for 3 to 5 years and then flip it. That's how I have done that. When you do it, you only pay 50% of the capital appreciation, right? Because you are eligible for the capital gain. I don't know if government is going to change that, but till they allow it, honestly, Canadians, we are not aware of it. In Europe, they don't allow this capital appreciation, capital gain deferral, right? Only in Canada and US, they are allowing this. It's a great benefit. Real estate investors are benefiting. I remember in, there was a time they allowed only 25%, I guess, because they can change anytime. They could even say, even investment properties, you got to pay 100% tax. They can change that anytime. But as of right now, there's a capital gain deferral, we have to capitalize that. So if we flip every year, no, that's not advisable. It's better to rent it out for 3 to 5 years. So multiple components would play a role here. The appreciation and then the capital gain, so that your take home would be much better.
So there's 3 more questions in the chat.
Okay.
So the first one is from Sugandhi. So she's asking, should she sell a condo that she owns downtown?
Hold on, let me go. Sorry, what was the question, Jeff?
She's asking if she should sell a condo that she owns downtown.
Downtown Toronto?
I assume so. It says downtown.
Who's asking?
Sugandhi. Just scroll up and you'll be able to see it.
Okay, okay. Now, honestly, it is all depends on your financial goals, right? You have to make your decision based on your financial goals. Let's say if you already have it, because as of this year, Toronto downtown condos, they didn't appreciate much, probably 5%, 5 to 6%. But the thing is, eastern part of GTA, over 25%. But downtown Toronto, even single properties, probably 15%, right? So, but one thing you have to remember, when the COVID settles down, when the government says, okay, everything back to normal, and the employer says, okay, now party is over, come back to the office. So at the time, the downtown is going to pick up. So you have to decide based on your financial goals. Let's say if you are thinking about buying a townhouse, you could sell your condo and buy a townhouse.
Okay.
And then, sorry, probably, Jab, why don't you read the questions? Because since I have my presentation up as well.
So
Yeah.
the next question is from Hillary. So if a person has a condo townhouse that is not appreciating as fast as a freehold, would you advise to sell the condo and buy a freehold?
Why not? Yeah, because if the condo is not appreciating and if there are condo fees, right? It all depends where it is located, and you have to see what is the future potential as well, right? So you cannot make just decision based on 2-3 years. But I have seen, based on my personal experience as well, the condos does not appreciate as much as townhouses and single properties. Like I bought condos in downtown Ottawa. No, they didn't appreciate much. Yeah. But in Ottawa, the single properties, they're appreciating like left and right. Crazy.
And she would also like you to repeat the point you talked about dealing with multiple banks instead of one bank.
Yeah, so when I say deal with multiple banks, because if you are borrowing for your rental properties, if you go out and ask the same bank over and over again, they would say after 4 properties, they would say, no, you have already maxed out. But if you go to another bank, they are willing to entertain you because they have not lent you yet. So they will incline to lend you at least 2 to 4 properties again. And then you repeat that process with everybody else. So you could easily buy yourself. But the thing is, it all depends on the value of the properties you have already purchased and how much credit you have maxed out, right? So let's say, for an example, if you're buying $100,000 or $200,000 properties, and if you're positive cash flowing, all these banks would entertain and to lend you, right? But if you bought a $1 million property, then that's it. And if that doesn't cash flow, and if you are paying from your own pocket, then it would be hard for you to borrow, right?
Okay, so next question comes from Saurabh. What advice can you give regarding buying a condo to rent students near a university in Nova Scotia?
Yeah, from Scarborough to Nova Scotia. Honestly, I was checking the other day, eastern part of Canada, the properties are cheaper, but it all depends on your objective. Honestly, I would tell you, people would say it depends. I would say your financial objective matters than anything, right? So what you want to achieve by doing this, you have to ask yourself this question, right? So I'm going to invest in Nova Scotia to the students. When there is problem with the students, or when the tenant turns around, who is going to manage it, and what kind of return on investment I'm expecting, because for sure it has to be managed by a property management company. And so you have to pay up to 12% for that. And if you already own multiple properties in Ontario, you could diversify yourself, having 1 or 2 properties, or even another 5 properties in Nova Scotia. But if that is going to be your first property, I wouldn't recommend, because you have to learn all the details by doing it in your own backyard. Sugandhi Ramesh is asking, what are your thoughts on investing in Belleville? Belleville is good. There's so many people went out and bought in Belleville, I guess. The problem with Belleville, I have nothing against anybody, but the thing is, the industry, they are close to the army camp, right, in Trenton. So I hear a lot of single mothers are there as well. So they may become tenants, and then unfortunately, if they don't have full-time job to support your rental properties, and then you may run into some issues in the future. Take a look at the economy, right? Like what's happening in Belleville? Why I have to invest in Belleville, and what is going to happen in the future? You have to have some idea about that as well.
Okay, so another question from Ruben. Do you advise to buy in the east instead of north for investment? And where do you see the most increase in the next 10 years?
So do you advise to buy in the east instead of north for investment? When you say north, like probably Ruben, you may want to ask your question, because it all depends where you are located, and when you say east and north, right? Ruben, you want to say it?
Up to Georgina.
Georgina, yeah, those are fine because they are not that far from GTA, because within 100-kilometer radius from Toronto, they have potential, because like GTA is creating city of Ottawa every 10 years, because every 10 years, $1 million increasing in GTA. So all these people have to live. So outskirts and the neighboring neighborhood, they are going to grow. And with this pandemic, I think working from home, I don't think it is going to go 100% away. Probably the employers, they want to save their facilities and all sort of things. It may become hybrid. And with that, outskirts, they are going to continue to grow.
All right, I think that's all the questions we have in the chat.
All right, that's good. How much more time we have? Wow, dead on time, 7:59. So Jab, you found, have you selected people for giving away books?
Yeah, there's a lot of people who've been engaging.
Good.
We see Kimberly, Ram, and Hillary.
So whom you have picked from the social media as the winner, and then from the chat?
So it's going to come from the chat. Social media is not there. If you guys want the chance to win a book, you can go follow us real quick right now, and I might pick you.
Yeah, give them a couple more minutes, probably, yeah, do some engagements. So while they are doing that, why don't you pick somebody from the chat?
In the meantime, I think there's just a couple questions that just came in.
Oh yeah, it's 3 more. You guys can check that out.
Okay, go ahead. Why don't you read it out loud?
Sure. So from Hillary, so she's asking if you can repeat what you advised on Peterborough.
Yeah, so Peterborough, personally, I have not invested in Peterborough yet because after I quit my engineering job, I learned about Peterborough because once you stop working for somebody and your income goes down, and now I'm full-time entrepreneur, but in Peterborough, there are diversified industry. That's the main thing. They are not relying on single industry because I was looking the other day. Peterborough has healthcare and they have aerospace, they have manufacturing, and they have colleges. So they are not that far from Greater Toronto area either. With the highway 407 connecting is that 115? Yeah, 115, I guess. Now they can easily get to Toronto faster. So Peterborough is booming and there are opportunities there. Yeah, compared to the surrounding cities, right now Peterborough has a lot of opportunities. What is the other one?
So another one comes from Sugundi. How easy is it to purchase multi-tenant properties, around 5 or more tenant type properties?
Yeah, I have purchased apartment building and I have rented out, and I like apartment buildings because when a tenant leaves, your ratio is from a single property. When a tenant leaves, 100% vacancy, right? But in an apartment building, if you have 4 units, when a tenant leaves, 25% vacancy, right? So that's the beauty of apartment buildings, and I'm looking into investing in probably like 20, 25 unit apartment buildings. That's down the road. But for that, you would need more capital and things like that. But just follow us on social media, and especially I'm on Instagram as well. And if there are any opportunities, I may share that in the future. Or you could message us as well. But multi-residential buildings are pretty good. Yeah, I like them.
So another question, what do you think will happen to the commercial market? What type is a good investment?
But sorry, what do you think?
What do you think will happen to the commercial market? What type is a good investment?
Honestly, I'm hearing warehouses are picking up because now many companies, they want to do like the governments are promoting companies to have the manufacturing within Canada, like especially Canada and USA, right? They are promoting them. So with that, the local manufacturing are booming, and with that, the warehouses, there are higher demand. And I'm not talking about the office space. Office space may go down a bit, but still, Toronto, doesn't matter. It will come up. But as of today, what is in high demand? I would say residential properties and warehouses. This is based on my learning and what I knew, right? But you have to do your home due diligence as well. But when everybody runs away, you have to get into, if I have the money, I may invest in office space right now, because now people are running away from office space. So this is the time you should get in. You have to always go in the opposite direction as the majority goes. Then only you can do something different, right?
So next question, they're asking what services BizRing provide for investors.
For real estate investors, as of right now, it is a platform for them to create, use the service providers, and they can even, if they run into any problem, they could create free codes. They could request for free codes, so that instead of asking multiple service providers one by one, they could create a single code request, and it will go to multiple people, and then they will respond you with the code. And also you can create power teams in the cities where you'll be owning the property. So let's say, for an example, power team in the sense, you could have cleaner, your top priority, second priority, third priority, and then plumber first, second, third. So let's say you own property in Toronto, Oshawa, and Ottawa. In each cities, you can create power teams rather than saving their contact list in your phone book or envelope full of business cards, or even a spreadsheet with tabs. What you could do is you could create these power teams in each cities, and you could have 1, 2, 3, up to 3 service provider under single category. So this is how you could manage them through your dashboard. So let's say, for an example, you are in vacation, you are in Hawaii, something went wrong. So your tenant just messaged you. So instead of Googling and looking for plumbers and asking through your friends and family, I see a lot of people asking WhatsApp groups and all sort of things. Well, could you recommend this and that, right? If you have your power team, then you'll just go to your own power team and use them, because the relationship has been already established, so that you don't even need to worry about paying them. You'll tell them, you just take care of it, I'll come and pay, right? So that is a benefit of the power team. So each investors, you need to have a power team. And it is a resourceful place where you can read blogs. At the same time, you can write blogs as well. But our upcoming features are highly beneficial. The forum. Forum is going to be highly beneficial for all of you. And our ultimate purpose is there will be somebody hand-holding you and helping you in the real estate investment through forum. And then the capital raising.
So there's 2 more questions. First one is Pickering Airport coming? Asked by Ruben.
Unfortunately, those kind of details I'm not tracking. Pickering Airport, I heard about it. I know in Pickering, the thousands of houses they are building, but still the house price is going up. So I'm not too sure about that. Yeah. Because there was a discussion about Pickering Airport, and then I'm not too sure what happened to it.
And then the last question from Hillary is Woodstock a good market to invest in?
Sorry, what?
Is Woodstock a good market to invest in?
Woodstock. Yeah, Woodstock. Yeah, that's also a pretty good area because it is more southern part of Ontario. Yeah. But as long as if the numbers works out, do it. It doesn't matter Timmins or Woodstock. Right? If that cash flows and you can sleep peacefully, not worrying about, oh, each month I got to put $100 or $1,000 into the property, it doesn't matter where it is located. Just do it. In 25 years, it will be paid off, even if there's a zero appreciation, right? 25, 30 years. But for sure, with the inflation, it goes up, because I have a personal experience probably I want to share with you guys. I have a neighbor in North York in 1970s. She bought her property for $20,000. And today her property is $1.6 million or even 1.7. So now you do the math, how many times her investment turned into.
Okay, so I guess that's the end of the questions for tonight.
Perfect.
So I guess I can pick the winner. So from social media side, we Ram is our winner, and then from tonight's chat engagements, Hillary is another winner.
Hillary, okay. Could you get both of their emails and so that we could be in touch with them, and probably they could visit us after the pandemic is over and visit us at our office, and I could give them with my autograph on it.
Yep, you can get their emails from Eventbrite, and then we'll communicate them with them.
Perfect. Yeah, you have probably you may want. Yeah, we have the email address. All right, thanks everyone for your time, and I hope you guys learned something from this event, and I learned something from your questions as well. And we will continue to have our future webinars, and it will be. I'll try to bring in more people so that they can share their knowledge as well. And I'm already in touch with one of the University of Toronto professor. He got PhD in real estate investment. So that would be very interesting because his point of view, because he doesn't invest in real estate, but he done a lot of research in real estate investment. And we want you to share about BizRing to your community and network of people so that they can use and benefit from us. And Dennis, did you share the upcoming webinar?
So I'm actually going to put it onto the chat. So if anyone's interested in signing up for our next webinar, it is on April the 22nd. So it is coming up. We do have a lot of people that have signed up already. So it's first come, first serve. So yeah, if you are interested in learning more about BizRing and how it can help your business, you can sign up with the chat.
Right now, we need your support for BizRing because BizRing we are a startup technology company and we are Canadian, Richmond Hill based. So we need your support so that we could become successful and we could make you successful, right? That's our objective. All right. You have a great good night. Thanks for your time. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone. Thanks
Good night,
for the
everyone.
presentation.
Bye-bye.